All right, so I honestly want to have a conversation about this back to basics thing. No music, no edit, just straight talking. Now, I know a lot of people feel like, this game is going to drastically change in one patch, but the truth of the matter is the game is definitely not going to change in one patch, and I'll explain why. There are several issues with the game. Now, as much as I'm a Tekken fan and, I've learned to enjoy it for what it is and stuff like that, I can see the clear issues. There is a lot of interaction issues, like certain moves, they just interact in a strange way. Certain, even like strings, like being able to do certain things within the strings and stuff, there's interactions with that needs fixing. So that's interaction issues. We now have characters that, let's say, for example, Brian having an install on top of having an unblockable taunt where you can't power crush or do anything in between it, plus having QCB1, which brings him close to the opponent, and +5. These things need to be changed. Asuka running at you running 1+2 when she's in Nano Augusto and being +11. That's insanity. And I'm talking about frames now. So there's a lot of moves that have silly frames. There's a lot of moves where they shouldn't whiff recover so quick, like Paul Phoenix when he does the forward 2. Like, he whiff recovers so fast, like it doesn't make any sense. So there is a lot of issues with that. And then on top of it, you have issues where some of these characters don't even need install. Now, I'm going to take you through a bit of a kind of understanding why characters have installs in fighting games. Now, if you look at other fighting games, let's say, for example, if you look at Jamie in Street Fighter 6, he isn't good when he doesn't have... So he has a maximum of 4 levels. This character, he has to drink for him to then get better. That's how the character works. When he gets to level 4, he gets a command grab. He gets additional stuff. It makes him better, right? Brian doesn't need an install. Brian's already sick without the install. But then with the install, he's really annoying. He's got a 4-forward 1+2 where he does the armor through all your attacks and then safe as well, even if you block it. It's so overwhelming. And then Asuka as well. Claudio is ridiculous. I feel like with install, he's strong. I feel like Claudio is ridiculous anyways without install. So they need to rework how installs work. If Claudio and those characters had the ridiculous stuff in Heat, and then as soon as Heat's gone, you have to play how they usually play without the install, I think that would be a lot better. But being able to get moves locked behind installs is insane to me. So, yeah, the way how I look at it is I feel like things need to be reworked. And I don't think it's going to be within one patch at all. They say back to the basics. Everyone's like, oh, yeah. But that's just, it's buzzwords. It's marketing. And, I'm going to stay true to what I do. Again, from the start with Tekken 7. And again, like I said, it was painful for me to say these things about Tekken 8. It was painful for me to say these things about Tekken 8 because it's a game that I love. But, I don't change my opinions on things just based on, whether I get paid or whether it doesn't change. I will always give my opinions. Maybe that did hurt me in the Tekken 8 run, but again, I'd rather stay true to what I can see and what I feel rather than, lie and act like the game was in a great direction. Because when I was saying from before, Clive, make decisions like this and you'll end up ruining the game, everyone's like, I'm being dramatic. I'm being, I'm overreacting and stuff. Oh, look at Tekken 8 Season 2. You have people talking about the game in a negative light now because, maybe funds are dried up. Maybe funds are dried up for certain people. And now they're talking about, oh, yeah, this needs work, this, that, and the other. But you wasn't saying that in Season 1 when everything was going okay. When it's a brand new game, honeymoon period, everyone's, if you've got your social media, whatever, and you're growing, everyone was saying that, yeah, stop being dramatic. The game is okay. Or you wasn't saying anything at all. But now what I don't like is it seems like it's more fashionable now because Tekken 8 Season 2 is it's quiet. Nothing's really happening. Everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, let's talk about it in a negative light that gets views. And it's like, no, no. Be honest. That's all I ask. The game, back to basics, I would love for the game to be in a good light. I love the game. I wouldn't be doing content on the game if that was the case, right? I would have just switched off ages ago. But my thing is that I honestly believe that this game needs more than one patch. And another issue is that they're going to bring out this big patch, you know, it's going to get people talking. Everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, this character's got this character's insane, this character's crazy, this, that, and the other. But the main issue is someone's going to get something broken because, all right, the character's going to get a new move. Now, we don't know what the properties of the new moves are. They could be homing +5, homing +10, homing black. +10 is an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. We don't know what the properties of these moves are. So now we have to then see what characters have the new moves, what they do and stuff like that. And then that's another whole headache because if you remember correctly, Tekken 8 Season 1, going into Tekken 8 Season 2, there was a whole bunch of new things that was not needed. Leroy, for example, and I'm going to say this here, Leroy going into, you know, Hermit and doing back 1+2, no Leroy player asked for that. I did not. No one really asked for that. We didn't need those things. And again, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're adding things that don't need to be added in. That's me being honest. However, if this patch, and I'm going to say this publicly, if this patch changes everything with Tekken 8, I will publicly apologize. I will make a video saying, hey, look, you know what? I apologize. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, you know what? I want this game to do good, which is why I've been playing multiple characters and, you know, changing that up a little bit and, you know, doing rank rush on streams and stuff like that. I want to enjoy the game, right? And I have a different approach to how to play the game now. It's not so defensive anymore. I just go aggressive. And yeah, I guess I'm enjoying it a bit more, but at the same time, it's like, this is not what the game was like before. Do you know what I mean? Again, I guess that, you know, people's thinking back to basics means, yeah, we're going to be able to have movement again. We're going to have to be able to have Korean backdash. I think they don't want Korean backdash. After watching the Master Cup, which is a very big team tournament in Japan, and seeing how, you know, everyone plays, and even like the developers, seeing how they play as well, they don't use backdash. They just go ham. That's what they want you to do. They want you to just go crazy. Go in, have fun, enjoy it. And as much as like I would love from them to bring back the old Tekken, I feel like this Tekken is here to stay. You know, the balancing with the new DLC, like Season 2 characters, has been great. You know, I think Armor King is annoying, but I think Armor King ain't doing anything that's like crazy over like Brian or any of those other characters. He's annoying. He does quite a lot of damage, but yeah, I feel like he's a strong character. He's a very strong character, but he's not doing anything where it's like, yeah, this needs to be really toned down. I think Brian, Asuka, they're the main offenders. Anna, like, and here's another thing. I say that to say this. Anna has been top tier, as in number 1, for a whole season. Do you think one patch is going to change this whole game when Anna's been top tier for one season? She has moves that shouldn't have no business being so plus. And I'm surprised that she even lasted a whole season without, you know, the whole community going like, wow, look at this character. Same with Asuka. Asuka has moves that are just like, what? Like, are they going to allow us to, you know, low parry can-cans or scale can-cans when they hit some counter hit because the damage is too high? There's so many issues I've listed here, and I don't want to be rambling on for you know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I'll make this video like, you know, cap to 10 to 12 minutes, right? If they release this patch, you do realize we have Kunimitsu first. If you remembered how toxic and annoying Kunimitsu is, it's going to be a long day for everyone if they don't balance this character the correct way. It's going to be a long day for everyone because if she has a great backdash and she just comes in and she does, you know, set 2 and stuff like that, and it's safe, we're in for a long day. But then also as well, they have to balance these characters while the Tekken World Tour is happening. And I've always said that I don't believe that makes sense to do a big patch, then start your tour right after a big patch because you're going to have problems, especially adding in new moves, especially. Like it's adding in new moves 2 characters, then adding in, then you've got another character on the way, then you're starting a tour. Yeah, you're gonna have issues. They're human, you know, they're human. People make issues, you know, or people make mistakes. You know, when season 2 came out and Jack's doing Make the Noise and it's doing all of this madness, they had to do an emergency patch. You know, there's just too much to do, in my opinion. I will honestly say, I hope that this season 3 patch does well. And again, if I am completely wrong, because I don't want to be a doomer, because that's not what I'm trying to be here. I'm just being realistic. There's a lot of changes. But if for some reason that this patch does everything that, you know, like movement's great, they've changed certain things, heat has been, you know, adjusted and stuff like that, I'll make a video and I apologize. That's me keeping my word to you, right? But again, like I said, back to basics, please just understand that there's going to be several things that they need to change. And again, it's not me dogpiling on Tekken 8. I'm playing the game and I'm playing it for where it is. And so far, I've been enjoying it, you know? There are things that need to be improved. There's a lot of things that need to be improved. My approach to the game is just be aggressive. That's all that it is now. Just be super aggressive, have fun with it, don't take it too serious. And, you know, the rest has been history. If you watch my streams, you can see that, yeah, there are frustration behind moves and stuff like that, but I just don't take it too serious anymore. It's kind of like, all right, this is what we've got. Let's just play it. So, yeah. But please, back to basics doesn't mean all of a sudden the game's going to turn back to Tekken 5 DR. Like, we got to wake up and smell the coffee, yeah. We just have to. I reckon the game probably won't be to, like, how the OGs or people that actually like fighting it. I don't feel like it's going to be like that until maybe season 4. I think season 4, they will actually understand, because this heat mechanic is a completely new mechanic. And you're mixing heat with rage, which is, it's very complex. It's very complex. Remember, Tekken 7 was rage. You go into rage, you got rager or rage drive. You use one of the two. It's not really that difficult, right? And then you've got power crush. So it wasn't that hard. Whereas you got heat burst, heat dash combo, heat dash launcher, heat dash. Like, you just got bare, was it heat dash? Yeah, you just got bare different things that just don't make it. Like, it's just too much. It's overwhelming. Then you've got rage. Then you've got, like, you know, the rage scaling depending on your health. Like, there's so much things they could do. I'm not here to give advice on what they could do in this video. This is more of me saying to you, don't be fooled by back to basics and thinking that, okay, back to basics means, yeah, they're bringing it back to Tekken 5 DR or they're bringing it back to Tekken 7. It's more the lines of, there's just buzzwords in marketing what makes people want to talk. You got everyone saying back to basics. You got everyone saying, you know, more deliberate, more redefined buzzwords. Until when I see something, and it's like, okay, this is it. And even, like, for example, Tekken 8 Season 2, when they said there's a defensive patch, there was no defensive patch. We had that for a whole year. So if you are one of those people that are like, hey, man, back to basics, nah, they're real about it this time, then, yeah, you're someone that just likes to be lied to a lot and you just accept anything. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying I don't think it's possible. But if they are going to do it, as a fan, I'll be so happy. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, it's all banking into Tekken 8 Season 3. We have, it's up until March the 16th to the 17th. So let's just see. Let me know what you lot think. Am I wrong? I could be wrong, you know? And if I am wrong, like I said, I'll take accountability and say sorry. You let me know in the comment section down below and we'll be on to the next video. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.